Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thought I would put together another video for you guys. I've still been getting a lot of questions about cutting down my Happy Planner and putting it in my A5 Filofaxes. If you watched my previous video, I cut down Happy Planner and I put it in my A5 Domino, and I most recently cut down, am still cutting down this My Life Happy Planner, and I'm putting this one in my Filofax A5 Original. And I've gotten a lot of questions, and I kind of zoomed through the last video, and it was my first experience doing it. So I learned a couple things along the way, so I thought I'd share those with you. Maybe it would help you if you're considering this process. So let's get started. To start, I'm going to show you the first project I did to cut down the Happy Planner to put it in my Domino. So as you can see, I use tab tops. This is something that I always have used, or I've been using for quite a while. So the first thing I did was to cut the tabs off of my Happy Planner. So I'm just going to show you a little bit quickly a side-by-side comparison. They are very similar in size when you take into consideration the full binder size. So here they are stacked. They are very, very close, and this is what made me think to do this in the first place. So the first thing I did was I cut off the side tabs because I knew I was going to use tab tops. I just like this better. It just works functionally better for me. So I did that, and then I trimmed month by month. Now, just to make some more comparisons, I want to show you a couple things. Like I said, if you compare the binder size, you'll see that they are very similar. If you look at the inserts that I cut down, you're going to notice, so this is the cut down size of the Happy Planner. And this is the size that I'm using inside both this Domino and my original. So I'm going to compare this so you can see really quickly. I did not cut off, besides the tabs, much at all. There it is right on top of the full-size Happy Planner. I cut these down. These are the inserts that are going in my original. I cut these down to a size 6.5 wide, and I did not trim anything off the top or the bottom. So that's something different I did when I trimmed to put them in the Domino. I did trim a little bit off the bottom, but I did not do that now in the original. And this might seem surprising to you because my thought was that the original was a little bit smaller, but I will show you that in just a minute. So here's the size that I'm cutting them down to, 6.5 inches wide. Now, I have seen a lot of people in the message boards and Facebook groups saying, but the Happy Planner is so much bigger than A5 size. And they're not wrong. A5 size inserts are 5.8 by 8.3. This is the size of a normal A5 insert, but that's the size of the insert and not the binder. Now I'm going to show you something with the original. When you open the original, it has a pen loop here. When a normal size A5 insert is in here and you close the binder, you have probably, let's measure, an inch, just under an inch of space. You will lose that space when you use the Happy Planner inserts as inserts, but it still fits within the binder. So you are not going to have overhang. And I will show you here in the Domino. Now the Domino binder is to me, it's slightly bigger. These are both of my planners closed, and I'm going to try and angle them so you can see. Now you're angled to look into, so you can see with the rounded corners of the original, there is a little tiny bit of the inserts peeking out. Now I haven't finished this yet, and my plan is to use a corner rounder, and I'm going to round my corners here, so I think that's going to help some. But when you look at it in the Domino, there is no overhang. it is a nice flush fit. Now, of course, I use tab tops, so I accommodate for extra room in my bag. I have a planner sleeve that I use, so I've shown that in another video too, I believe. So here we go. This is the one I'm working on right now, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing to cut down this happy planner. This happy planner right here, the My Life Happy Planner, and I've already started and put it inside. So I've already started. I've got, let's see, right now I do believe I have up to July in here. Sorry, up to, yeah. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing and kind of try as best I can to explain as I go, step by step, so you guys can get a better idea. Okay? So here we go. First thing I need, my happy planner. And then I'm just using a standard 12 by 12 Filofax trimmer. Now my blade is not as sharp because I have not bought a new blade in a little while. So we're going to have to kind of cut fewer pages at a time. So all I do is I go in here. Let's get these guys out of here because I'm also going to show you how I've punched them. And I take out 1 month at a time. So I'm on August now. And you're just going to hold your rings and kind of lift from the top and pull down and take out 1 month. And I did make a change in how I cut them with being a little more careful, and I'll show you why when we get to the month on 2 pages. So I'm cutting them, like I said, to exactly 6.5 inches, and I might even be a little bit generous on that, just on the bigger side of 6.5 inches. So when I slice here, this is what's coming off. Just a little strip like that. So right now I'm doing about 2 pages at a time. And once you get into a rhythm, this goes kind of quickly. So you don't have to worry that like this is going to take you. You could do it while watching TV. Not me, I have to concentrate. But it probably would take you, to do the whole planner, if you just did it all at once, about a half an hour. So that's really not too bad. So now I'm left with the month on 2 pages. Now in my original, the first time I did this, I was not really happy with how far the punches, or where the punches landed for the Filofax in the boxes. So I wanted to be a little bit more careful. So what I did is I just line this up till it is right at the edge of those mushrooms for the disc punch. And you can see it's just a teeny hair over because these all fall apart. So to keep it the 6.5 size so my pages are all consistent, I'm going to end up trimming just the tiniest bit off when I cut the tab off. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So again, I'm trimming right at the very most inside, just enough to get these mushrooms off, and you'll know you're doing pretty good if they separate like that. Okay, so now when I go to cut my tab off, I know I want this just on the generous side of 6.5 inches. So when I cut the tab off, I'm going to have just the tiniest bit. You won't even notice that. Okay, and that is exactly how I cut them down. So now they're perfectly even. Now I'm going to show you, I created a little system to make sure that when I punched them, they fell exactly. I'm going to show you my dividers. So The last time I punched, my Happy Planner was there was some unevenness on the bottom. So I wanted to make sure that I punched this, the new Happy Planner, so that it lined up perfectly with the holes, and it's really hard to see on camera, with the holes of my dividers. So I made these dividers custom. I made them a little bit wider than I normally make dividers for an A5, so that when laminated, this is all flush on the edge. I'm going to just show you the difference here. So if you look at the first time I did it, you know, I was in a hurry and I was still learning. So there's a lot of unevenness down here, and the pages don't all line up perfectly. And some of the pages even, like you can see here, this is the first month on 2 page. And it's not a good, I'm trying to like get it on camera, sorry guys. It's just not even, and I wanted to be a little bit more careful. So I created a little bit of a process for myself to make sure that I was able to get everything nice and flush, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So the punch I'm using is just this this Rapsco 6-hole punch, and this is the adjustable one. So I have it adjusted out to the full A5 size. Let's see if I can get that on camera so you can see this is the adjustable one. I got this on Amazon for about $20. So no, less than that, maybe $15. So I'm going to show you what I did. Now, I created a surface for myself so that I could line everything up. So let's see if I can get this on camera. Of course not. A surface for myself where I put these washi marks down, and I knew where my punch had to sit and where the edges of my papers had to line up. And this was just to make it fit with my specific dividers. So you can just punch to the middle if that's what you, when you go to cut it down. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can adjust the camera angle here and get, oh, there we go. And I'm going to show you how I punch. So I also had taken my ruler just so that I could make sure that everything was nice and straight. And I just lined the bottom edge up with my line and my ruler. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous it won't be perfect because I stopped and moved my project, and I'm going to show you right where these punches fall now. So the punches fall now. Let's see. You can still see the dates. Most of them. Some of them will fall. You know, they do fall inside these boxes, but I just use these boxes to summarize at the end of the month. So it doesn't affect for me how I plan, and I don't feel like it is a huge disaster if I lose just the tiniest bit of space. I still have room to decorate. I still have room to write. So, and then I'm going to show you in the, so now on the weekend 2 pages, you will see the punches. This is where the line is for the end of the box. The punches go maybe halfway into there. So again, if you watch my Plan With Me videos, it doesn't affect how I decorate. I go right over that. And if I cover it, I just take a single hole punch and I punch right through it. Through, like if I put a sticker or something there. So this little system that I created here now allows me to make sure that as I'm punching all my inserts, the holes are perfectly lined up. This one's going to be a little off because I did move my punch just a little bit, but so that's it. That is how I do it. Now, I had some other questions. People asked me all kinds of things about how it fits in here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show perfectly in the video, but so someone asked me about a pen in the original, because there is a pen loop. I can put a pen in there. Normally with the size inserts that are standard A5 inserts, when I closed this, the pen would fall on this side and there would be space for the pen. So that is not going to be the case if you keep the Happy Planner the size I trimmed to. But right now I have all but about 5 months of the 18 months in here, and I can still put a pen in there. And this is my baby planner, you guys, so I don't like to force it, but I know I can snap this. She was my unicorn, and I hate to gouge her or like put pressure on her. So the pen does fit in there, but as you can see, it is sitting on top of my inserts. So if you had a really stuffed planner, I don't know that you could fit a pen in there. When I take my planner with me, I usually have a pen pouch that I take with me, so all my pens go in there anyway. And the only thing I ever really have here is maybe like some journaling cards and some paper clips and things like that. So, and then everyone is really, really concerned, especially because of the original, that there's overhang. But I'm telling you, when you move your planner around, the binder kind of has some give and take with the rings. So yeah, it's going to show sometimes, but there is no real overhang. Definitely not at the bottom. The side is perfectly flush, and it's really hard to get on camera. And like I said, there is maybe this bit at the corners, but I'm going to round that. So I'm going to really quickly open it up and show you again how it fits. So here is, let's just go. This is how it looks in the original. This is the month on 2 pages. The punches do go into the squares, but here you can see I did not disrupt, I disrupted one date on the 30th, but it really, for me, doesn't make a big difference. Here's what the week on 2 pages looks like. The punches, again, yes, they go into the boxes. If you have an Erin Condren, you're going to have the same issue, but it is really only maybe half of the punch circle is in the box. So that's what it looks like, you guys. And now I'm going to show you really quickly. I'll do a flip through in the domino too, so you can see, and a little bit of a 360. Again, this is the domino now. Now you have a little bit more flexibility here with the domino. Some people I know have left their tabs on, but again, I use tab tops. That's what I use. I did not change it specifically for this. That's just what I like for how I plan. So here's what it looks like in here. Here is the month on 2 pages. Month on 2 pages, yes, same thing. You can see there's some wonkiness down here, and that's why I wanted to show you a little bit better. And here's a fully decorated week on 2 pages. You can see it doesn't get in my way for any of the writing. It doesn't get in my way for any of the decorating. So I hope this was helpful. I really don't know what else to show, but I know there were so many questions, and I wanted to be sure that I covered the fact that now I have it in a domino, now I have it in an original, and when you look up A5 size, it's going to tell you that it's 8.3 by 5.8. That is not the binder size. That's the insert size. And I cut the inserts just to 6.5 by the original Happy Planner, which is a little over 9, and this still fits. So if you were just reading and thinking, well, geez, the Happy Planner is so much bigger, you're not wrong, but this still fits. 6.5 by the original height, which is just a little over 9, just under 9.5, I believe. So if you guys have any questions, if there's something else you want to see, please do me a favor and just leave it down in the comments and give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I hope I can bring you some useful content. I hope those of you who were considering doing this go right ahead. I'm going to say some people are like, oh, this is such a great cost-effective alternative to cutting down an Erin Condren. I just love the Happy Planner. I just think it's cute, and I really love the paper quality. It's just unbelievable. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I could use this in a way that worked for me. And that's the great thing about this, is that there's so much flexibility with it. So thanks guys, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.